I'm Kyle, a 35-year-old office worker, and my hobby is riding motorcycles. I've had my fair share of troubles when a classmate turned out to be my wife Emily's affair partner. Maybe you've been through something similar. I had a wife, Emily, and a daughter, Ashley, but somehow, they both ended up disliking me. In hindsight, it might have been because Emily was a stay-at-home mom and felt cooped up at home. As our daughter started growing up, Emily began complaining about her life.
You're lucky, being able to go out and do whatever you want.
I heard this every day. Freedom. I'm just working to make money.
I'm jealous of that. I always have to stay home.
Then why don't you get a job too, Emily? Or find a hobby? Maybe take some classes.
Absolutely not. It's always a hassle with other women wherever I go. You wouldn't understand because you're a man.
Come on, we're not talking about that right now.
That's how you always put the blame on me.
Emily often glared at me with tearful eyes. She was somewhat selfish and paranoid, and talking to her could be exhausting. Things weren't like this in the beginning, it's draining. Just talking causes stress to build up. Emily, since Ashley was in preschool and had some disputes, started avoiding people. She complained to the teacher that she was being bullied because she wasn't invited to a friend's birthday party.
Aren't your paycheck much less this month? There's barely the bare minimum.
If I put everything in, you'd spend it all. I've been putting savings in another bank.
Don't be so controlling. You're just an ATM.
ATM. That's a good one, Mom. Yeah, Daddy, you're just an ATM, so you should just quietly dispense money. Otherwise, we would have considered you defective and throw out, Dad.
What are you saying, Emily?
Just be quiet, ATM.
That's right.
From now on, you're Mr. ATM. Just quietly hand over the money.
That's how Emily and Ashley started to call me Mr. ATM together. Of course, they demanded for money, but the verbal abuse got worse day by day. And around this time, Emily started going out more with Ashley. Ashley didn't join any clubs in high school either. The two of them, having time on their hands, would go out for afternoon tea or on trips whenever they pleased. Of course, the money came out of my pocket. I was left quietly at home, busying myself with household chores and spending my free time working on my motorcycle. No matter how much Ashley bullied me, I could forget it all while I worked on my bike. It's sad to be shunned by a teenage daughter and treated coldly by your family, but everyone says it's normal. So I thought this was just the way things were, and I vented my loneliness and pain through my hobbies. Then everything changed when Ashley's marriage was decided. The fiancé Ashley brought home, whose father turned out to be a single parent too, was a surprise. Her fiancé, David, was a refreshing young man. A solid public servant at work. I couldn't help but wonder why someone as good as him would choose Ashley. Apparently, they met through an app, which really shows how incredible modern times are. Well, if he's going to be family, I'm all for welcoming him with open arms.
I grew up in a single-parent family.
He said it awkwardly, but I have great respect for how well he raised David. I'm looking forward to meeting his father. And then the day for the families to meet arrived. I knew David's father was coming, but it turned out he was a classmate from my high school days.
Hey, if it isn't Kyle. Long time no see.
Ah, Tyler. Weren't we in the same class? Long time no see.
Of course. I can't forget you fixing my bike.
As I was surprised, he laughed and struck up a conversation like that. Tyler used to be a bit of a rebel back in the day, getting into fights with teachers and breaking windows, so I was shocked to see him again. What are you doing now?
I'm working part-time at a casino. My family is well off, so I don't really need to work.
I was a bit taken aback by Tyler's words, but Emily and Ashley seemed to enjoy chatting with him. On the other hand, David, Tyler's son, was quietly eating his meal, and it seemed to me that he was discontent.
I'm sorry for the noise. My dad always gets like this when he drinks.
Don't worry about it. I prefer it lively, it's more fun.
Thank you. I know he's a classmate of yours and understand that he can be loud, but I dream of a peaceful family life. I'm glad to be becoming family with someone as kind as you.
David's words made me feel somewhat relieved. However, Tyler started talking loudly again.
If I had a cute daughter like Ashley and a beautiful wife, I'd be over the moon.
I wonder if my life would have been more fun if I had married someone like you.
It's not too late. If you're interested in casinos, come to my place. I'll show you the good machines.
Tyler's talk only increased my worries. Really, to become family with such a man. However, time passed, and the wedding preparations progressed smoothly. Ashley wanted her dream wedding and kept adding more options. She chose a dress from a famous brand and a venue so popular you have to wait over a year to book it. Of course, the costs were substantial.
Mr. ATM, you'll take care of the payment, right?
Ashley just said that. I thought it was a joke, and honestly, I felt it was too much to pay for the entire wedding. 1 month before the wedding, David came to our house with a serious look. "What's up, David? Emily and Ashley are out today."
I actually need to talk to you about something important.
His words made me anxious. And the content of what David started to talk about was shocking.
It looks like Emily and Tyler are having an affair.
I can't believe it, is that true?
There's proof. I recorded it in the living room.
In the recording David played, you could indeed hear Emily and Tyler's voices engaging in an affair.
It was just a random recording, but it's sufficient proof.
I see. I had no clue at all. I was shocked, but at the same time, I thought as much. Lately, Emily had been going out frequently. She said it was for wedding preparations, but now that I think about it, that doesn't make sense. Even if it was for the wedding flowers, there's no way a mother would need to go out almost every day for that. Knowing about Emily's betrayal, I quietly felt my love for her fading. Hey, by the way, why were you recording in the living room, David?
Oh, actually.
And then, I was about to hear another unbelievable secret from David. I'll tell you more about it later, just hang in there. Stay tuned. After hearing the shocking news from David, I decided to think things over alone. I wanted to sort out the information thoroughly. By the time I realized it was evening, and Emily and Ashley had come back. The two of them, grinning, said something surprising seeing me troubled.
Ashley, go on, tell him.
Yeah. I've been thinking, and I really want the wedding to be perfect. I want to cut out the unnecessary things. So, Mr. ATM, we'll need you to stay home.
So I'm just supposed to stay home, like I'm absent.
That's right. There's no place for you. If you want to stand around, you could come. But you know, we'll just say you couldn't make it because of work, so better not come at all.
I was appalled at how they laughed and how they always did whatever they wanted, taking such a terrible attitude toward me. Deciding I couldn't let them get away with this any longer, I planned my revenge on the two of them. Betrayed by Emily and abandoned by Ashley, I thought of a revenge involving their beloved money. Though I wouldn't attend the wedding day, I was called to come to the dressing room at the end of the ceremony. After finishing various tasks, I headed to the venue and went to the dressing room, where Ashley, today's star, and Emily were present.
You're late. An ATM shouldn't keep the stars waiting.
Kyle, you have an important role, so don't be mad.
What's this important role then? Smiling, Ashley reached out her hand to me.
You have some money to give me, right?
No, I don't.
What? Then who's going to pay for this? The dress and venue fees are all on credit, and I definitely don't have $3,100. What are you going to do about it?
I don't care. It's your wedding, you pay for it. I refused with a smile, and Ashley's face turned pale. Seeing her reaction, I couldn't help but burst into laughter, reminding me of the time Emily exploded in anger during our conversation.
What are you laughing at?
Come on, don't you feel sorry for not paying for Ashley's wedding?
Then you can pay for it, Emily.
There's no way I can pay. Don't suggest something I can't do. Are you trying to make me into an ATM instead?
Well, maybe you should show some manliness and pay, Kyle.
I'll pass on that, Tyler. You, who come from a rich family, should pay.
No, that's a bit.
All of them are really just a bunch of no-goods. I sighed. I had to punish them, and thus opened the door to the beginning of my revenge. Behind the door was David, who had just finished changing. After David opened it, he looked at Ashley with a sad face.
Ashley, I heard what just happened. I gave you money because I love you. What happened to it? You didn't lose it or spend it, did you? That would really shock me.
That.
Where's my money?
David acted sad, and in the midst of Ashley's turmoil, I told the truth. She spent it on gambling.
What do you mean?
While surprised by David's convincing acting, I continued. Ashley got hooked on gambling and blew it all there.
Don't just make up any lie.
Ashley, turning pale, denied it. But if you need proof, I have it right here, I said as I pulled out a photo. A detective took it, showing Ashley and Emily playing the slots. This is from yesterday, but there are more. Since she goes every day, the detective said it was easy to capture.
A detective? What do you mean?
So, you're acknowledging this is you, right? Ashley fell silent, avoiding David's gaze. It seemed as if their love, affirmed just hours before, shattered in a moment. I will never forget the sad look on David's face at that time. Well, a century of love could cool off for less. Is this the secret David mentioned? Not only Emily, but Ashley got hooked on gambling too. I overheard them talking on the phone, and it seems he had bugged the living room to confirm it. And that's how the affair came out. So, Emily was caught in the act too. You can enjoy gambling, but this is unhealthy. In the frozen atmosphere of the dressing room, I turned to address Emily and Tyler, who had become practically invisible.
I hired a detective to confirm that Ashley was hooked on gambling.
I just picked up their findings. Saying this, I pulled out the documents from an envelope. There, it was written in clear detail how Emily and Tyler had been having an affair. Both turned pale instantly, and I pressed on. Stealing money from others and spending it on gambling recently, huh? Did you enjoy playing slots with the money I earned? Well, you must have enjoyed it, otherwise you wouldn't go every day. The two of you happily heading to a hotel really cracked me up.
How did you know?
It's obvious, I've been investigating.
I'm sorry, and I won't be meeting Emily anymore. Just please don't sue us for damages.
Then, I revealed everything to the surprised Emily. Tyler still hasn't paid off the debts from his alimony to his ex-wife.
What? Alimony? Wasn't it his ex who cheated and left him?
That's a lie. He got hooked on gambling to pay off his debts.
Turns out, Tyler's cheating was the cause of his divorce. His ex-wife left him because he was fooling around too much. He borrowed from his parents and now owes them money.
What? Tyler, on top of that, you are marked by loan sharks. You've got to be kidding.
Even if you say it's a lie, all this was found out through the private investigator's research. His past is really terrible, especially his womanizing. In high school, he got a classmate pregnant and forced her to have an abortion. It was a shotgun wedding with his ex-wife during college. He ended up borrowing to pay the alimony demanded at his divorce, and got hooked on gambling to pay that back. There's no such thing as easy money. He managed to pay back when he won, but now the debt has ballooned. I'm divorcing Emily. I'll be suing both of you for damages, so make sure you pay up.
Wait a minute. You started this whole mess. Kyle, you were so boring and that's why I cheated.
That's right, you were such a plain guy in high school. That's why Emily fell for me.
As Emily and Tyler blanched, they suddenly became defensive and lashed out.
Shut up. Kyle is a good man. You two are the scum.
David's anger exploded. Then, I successfully divorced and sued them for damages as planned.
You're the one at fault, cancel the alimony.
I ignored their calls, but one day, the full amount was transferred. The same goes with Tyler. Since they both promised never to fool around again as part of the settlement, it seems they separated from each other. I heard from their lawyer that both had to borrow money to pay the debts. It's good that the divorce was settled and the damages were paid. Ashley and David had not yet married, so they settled it as a broken engagement. Ashley agreed to pay the wedding expenses as damages. Of course, she had no savings, so she borrowed money to pay it back. So, the three ended up in debt together, struggling to pay off their debts through gambling. Really, gamblers are hopeless. They can't win, the debt grows, and before you know it, you lose contact with them. David and I are planning to go out for dinner soon. He recently met a wonderful woman, and I'm thinking about giving him some advice. He met her at a motorcycle enthusiasts gathering. She's really a great person, and we hope things will go well. This is a story about men betrayed by their desires, showing how badly things can turn out if you get carried away.